All right, welcome everyone to our series of webinars presented by the BizSugar Mastermind community on the second and fourth Wednesday of each month at noon Central. Today, we're really fortunate to have Ann Smarty with us to talk about featured snippets. She'll be showing us an easy-to-use tool for claiming more of them for your site. Ann is the branding manager at Internet Marketing Ninjas and the founder of Viral Content Bee, a platform where anyone can get influencers to share their content. Take it away, Ann.
Hi, everyone. So I'm Ann Smarty. You can get in touch on Twitter. I'm SEO Smarty on Twitter. If you're not following me, just let me know you're from this webinar and we'll connect and we'll try to figure out everything that we were talking about today. I've been talking about featured snippets since I think 2017, so for quite a few years. It used to be much easier topic to talk about. Everyone wanted them. It's not as straightforward anymore, so we'll talk about that during this presentation as well. I do have lots of slides from my past presentation on the topic, but I figured today I will just be sharing my screen and showing you what I'm doing. That would be easier to understand all the specifics of this topic. So first things first, let's figure out what featured snippets are. And I'm sure you know exactly what they are because we all search Google and right now they are all over the place. Most search results have them, so we do see them. But what not many people realize is that it's a different algorithm from organic rankings. So that's important to know. And going forward, that would be something to help you figure out how to claim your featured snippets. So let's first see what they look like. They do, Google have been changing the way that they're being served, what they look like, how they blend into the search results. All those have been changing for years. So it's a very tough topic to talk about because you always have to update your slides like the day before presentation to make sure you're showing the most recent thing. Now, this is the featured snippet. On top of everything, I mean, on top of organic search results, you still have your ads on top of that, and those ads blend much better in organic search results these days, but that's not the topic of this conversation. So this is the featured snippet. You can see that it gives the quick question to the query or to the question that's implied by the query. Google is doing a very good job finding those answers in other people's articles or pages and extracting them, showing them right in the search results. Now this, if you scroll down a bit, these are organic search results. So these are what we use to optimize for as SEOs. There are lots of signals and factors that play here, and in combination, Google is able to figure out which pages to show there and how to rank them, which page should hold which position. So the major factors here, not going in too much details, are relevancy. How relevant the page is to the search query is the most important factor. On-page SEO, on-page signals include things like keyword usage, semantic SEO, authorship may be not confirmed, but we still think it's something Google is taking into account. So those are on-page factors, and of course, backlinks from all other resources. Another very powerful, still very powerful signal that Google is using to understand the authority of the page. So relevancy, authoritiveness, and trustworthiness. Authority and trustworthiness. So these major things that play a role in how Google is ranking these websites. And SEOs, we've been working to improve those signals for our websites or for our clients to make sure that our pages will show up here on page 1 of search results. Now, the featured snippet algorithm is different because Google only needs a good answer. That's all they need to feature a page. This is copy. This is something you can help Google with, not control. There is no 100% control here, but you can help Google by giving them the most concise, the most factual, the most helpful, the best structured answer here. Now, the ranking algorithm does help because Google uses its top 10 results to find those answers. They very seldom go any deeper than its own first page. So first, you need to rank on page 1, so within top 10 results. Second, you need to give the best answer to the query or to the question implied by the query. These two factors play the key role in your page getting featured. This is important to understand those two algorithms. So first, you do need those rankings to even have a chance to get featured. And secondly, you need to give the best answer. Now, in most cases, Google uses top 5 results to find the answer to the query. And you can actually tell if there were no featured snippet on this page, where would this featured URL be in organic search results? There is a trick that helps you know the answer to that question. So this is impactplus.com. Currently, it's featured for this query, and we want to know where would it be ranking if there were no featured snippet in this particular case. What we need to know, there is the URL. Everyone can see it, right? The URL of search result page. We click and, then we type num equals 9. And we see results like featured snippets did not exist. So we can see that this is organic top result number 1. Then there is Google itself. And number 3 is the featured page. So what we know here is that you can rank number 3 for something that's very important for your website or your business. And you can keep investing into backlinks, into SEO consultations, and so on, but never move to number 2 or number 1. Or if there is a featured snippet for that query, you can do a better job answering questions that implied by that query, and you can go on top of everyone else without all those investments. So this is the power of featured snippet optimization. It can do a real difference when it comes to organic search visibility. Of course, featured snippets are always changing, so that's something you can lose after winning. But it's not like you invest too much money or effort. You just need to tweak your copy just a little bit to get featured. And yes, if you lose it, you will know, but you can see you will see by traffic drop, or you will get notified by your tracking system, and you can go ahead and see why you lost it and how can you get it back. So it's a continuous struggle, but once you get featured, you can enjoy all that traffic and clicks and leads. And when you lose it, you can figure that out again. So that's the gist of featured snippet optimization. Now we do have an easy tool, like Gail said, that helps you get featured more. It helps you understand which opportunities you are missing and where you can get featured. I do have a few runs here which I can demonstrate right now. And then I will show you how to set up that tool. That's very easy. It's like a couple of clicks. So we click featured snippet tab here. Give it just a few moments. One can see my screen, right? Please do let me know in the Q&A, or just tell me if there is any trouble seeing what I'm sharing. Okay, Give it just a few more seconds. I hope my browser will survive this. So while we are waiting, are there any questions about what I just said? Okay, good. So you can see my screen. So this is the list of pages from a particular website. I have nothing to do with it. It's just an example. We can see here if green means that you already featured for something. So that's a good thing. And blue means there are featured snippet opportunities that you can still fight for or optimize for. The pages from the websites are being ranked by number of opportunities. So actually, no, I'm not sure how they're being ranked. But in any case, we'll start from the top. So you click here. So it's page by page status, because we kind of deal with every featured snippet opportunity on a page level, because pages are getting featured, not the website. So it's a very tactical solution here. There are a few, but not many strategic approaches to featured snippet optimization. Usually it's page by page. So we click to the featured snippet tab, and that's what we see. So you see your current organic position. You see the search volume. Of course, we want to optimize to prioritize queries with a high search volume. And we see the type of the featured snippet, which is something you should be paying attention to. There are basically 3 types of featured snippets. Paragraph is the most widespread, but you don't see it here because it's more like data-based queries. So paragraph is just a paragraph of text. It's what we see here. It's not very long. Let me go back. So it's not very long, usually 2 or 3 sentences. So basically that's gives you an idea of how long your answer should be for Google to make it easy for Google to feature you. So keep it between 2 or 3 sentences, 1 paragraph of text. So this is the paragraph featured snippet. There are also list featured snippet when you see the list of options in that box. And there is a table featured snippet, which is usually not very often in search results, but it happens, especially like to see in this when you have to deal with a lot of data, years, numbers, tables widespread as well. And actually tables are great because in many cases, when you rank much lower than number 5, but your competitors don't have tables, you can win a featured snippet by creating a table that summarizes a chart that summarizes some data or options. Google likes tables. So we can see that this is a great opportunity. Right now, this site is ranking number 3 for this search query. It's not featured, so it's very it's a good way. It's a good opportunity. I would definitely go forward for. You can see that that's the table, but there is also a quick paragraph of text that leads to that table. So that's a good template to steal from your competitor. There is the table. This is something, again, you can see where this is search FDI. And we can see the organic rankings of that website. So the first one is Wikipedia. Then there's this site, and this is the one that's get featured. So it ranks number 3 organically, but it gets featured because somehow Google likes the answer better. So that's something definitely to optimize for, at least to try. It's something I would definitely go forward for. Now, another case here is this. Let's say you are already number 1 for this query. You want to look at it. Here is your website, and here is your competitor that's get featured. This case is not as straightforward, and I'll explain why. So a couple of years ago, Google would keep your organic position once you get featured. So in most cases, if you get featured, you get 2 listings in Google. Once you are featured in the box and your organic position somewhere below, whether it's number 1 or number 5, doesn't matter. So the question, should I be featured, was very easy. Yes, yes, always yes. You need to be featured because you get, instead of 1 organic position, you get 2. It's always bad. It's simple math. It's always great to get featured because you want to have those 2 positions. Now, I think last year, or maybe 2 years ago, time flies, Google has changed things. So now once you get featured, you lose your organic position. And there is very little data as to whether those featured snippets get clicked more than organic results that show up underneath. Why there is so little research into that, or so little data, is because all featured snippets are different. Unlike search results that are pretty much the same thing, there is a link, there is a quick description, there is a breadcrumb or URL of the search results, so they're pretty similar. Featured snippets are always different. They can be tables, paragraphs, they could include images, they could be lists, they could, so they are all different. So it's very hard to tell whether they get a click or not. So there is no data. So in this particular case, it's quite possible that anyone who is searching for this would read this or just scan through and go here to click. So we don't know. Until we are featured, we don't know how many clicks this featured snippet will generate for us. So when you are already ranking number 1, especially if that's some query that's sending you clicks and leads right now, something that's important, I wouldn't necessarily be sure if I want to get featured or not. So sometimes there are all those people also ask results in between, so the top results gets even more scrolling too. Sometimes the featured snippet looks very clickable, like in this particular case, I think it's clickable enough. In this particular case, I'm not really sure because it's a list people could just read and go to this page to click. See? So in these cases, what I would do is, first, I think hard. Second, I optimize on case-by-case status. I wouldn't just, yes, I want that position. I would just grab one search query, preferably not very important for you, and then track once you're featured, see if there are any less clicks in your Google Analytics. Don't use Search Console for that. Don't rely on that too much because first, the data is always delayed there. Secondly, they are just not as reliable as your real on-site analytics, whether it's Google Analytics or any other you're using. So I would definitely look into Google Analytics and check it regularly once you get featured for something that you were already number 1, and see if there is a little impact, negative impact. I would probably stop there and do not try, or just roll back your changes and try to get that first position again. So this is something that should be treated with very much care, especially, again, if that's an important search query for you. It used to be very easy. As SEO, I feel very weird saying that because always, historically, SEO was be on top of Google search results. So that was always our task. We didn't care about anything else. whatever it takes, we need to be on top. Now with Google developing, it's not that easy anymore. So in many cases, we have to tell clients, maybe you don't want that position. Let's think about that. Let's optimize for something else. Let's grab other opportunities, because here you are already number one. And maybe this position is getting even more clicks than the featured snippet on top of it. There was an interesting study, a click-through study by Ahrefs. It's old, maybe like 3 or 4 years ago it was first published. And they do say that the top organic position gets more clicks than the featured snippet, because featured snippets by design are created to give answers. So they give an answer and people would scroll to the top position to click. So organic results are for clicking, featured snippets are for answers. They have also found that once there is a featured snippet in search results, there are less clicks overall. So featured snippets do steal clicks from people from other pages, even not generating clicks for the publisher's website. So it's not always that straightforward. If you are ranking number 3, 4, 5, 6, definitely get featured, because very few people even scroll that further to the page. But if you are already number 1, I would still give it a thought. That's my opinion. You may disagree with that. There are SEOs that claim we want to be on top and we don't care whether there are clicks or not. There is that opinion as well. I would caution against that. I would think, especially if you're seeing some real leads from that query, maybe just don't touch it. If you do drop, if your organic rankings drop to number 2, 3, or 5, then of course start working on that featured snippet opportunity. Otherwise, give it some time. Another useful tab here is searches related to. Now, those are things that you see. Let me see, I'm using the, you see here. Those are useful if you are already editing the page to pursue some Google featured snippet opportunities. Use this tab to kind of diversify your rankings to more search queries, or even come up with follow-up articles or more organic opportunities that you would like to pursue. So keep an eye on that tab as well whenever you're doing anything within this tool. Now, to set this tool up, I'm losing track of my time. So just a quick thing how to, and I lost it, to set this tool up. And as you can see, this tool comes with 3 free runs, so you can test it. You have 2 options here. So here I'm clicking create a new run. The first one gives you more control over what you want to analyze. If you have some important landing pages that send you real leads and money, and that's your ROI pages, you can just list them here, and the tool will focus just on those pages. If you don't care and you just need us to find those opportunities for you, I mean the tool, you just give your domain here, give the report the name, and let the tool figure everything out on its own. That's usually the option that I'm using for all the blog focused or blog driven websites where I don't really necessarily care about any particular page. I just want the overall visibility to increase. So that's the option that you can always use. And I think that's it for the tool. I do appreciate any questions that you may have. I can see some there already. Let me check. Do you still see my screen?
We do. So do you hear me? Are we okay, or do you have a bad echo?
I can hear you for now. I don't hear any echo now.
Okay, great. So the first question I have, I didn't catch how you were, what URL are you copying to show the rankings as if there were no featured snippets.
Yes. So this is, let's say we are searching for this query. Can you see the URL of Google search results in the URL box of your browser?
Yes.
So we skip everything. There could be many things here. Mine is short. Just at the very end, we type and then num equal 9. So this is the part. Can everyone see it?
Num equals 9.
Yes. And then we click enter and we see search results like featured snippet never existed. And that's when you can tell what your organic rankings would be if there were no featured snippet, if you are featured, or where your competitor is located that's featured. So you can tell if it's up or down you want to go.
I'm typing that in so people have it. Okay, just get that in there. All right, so Martin, of course, since he's in Sweden, wants to know if there are featured snippets in every language. Is this a US thing or is this an all Google search variable thing?
I can try. I think it's in all languages, but I'm sure that in English it's much more advanced because Google just can understand English better. And in many ways, English is much easier for any machine to figure out. Let me try something in Russian. Yep. I'm I'm seeing still English results because Google knows that I'm. Let me try change that to Russian. So there was featured snippet for English. Yep, I can see that there are featured snippet in Russian language. So chances are they are all over the world.
Okay, super. All right, so Sean, that is a tough question. How do featured snippet tactics fit into your overall SEO strategy?
So that's a perfect question. And that's what I mentioned. There are like higher level tactics for featured snippet optimization when you don't catch every opportunity, but you try kind of higher level, catch the most you can. So what I do when I optimize content, I usually first make sure there are subheadings like those H tags, H2, H3, breaking the page. It's a good tactic, traditional tactic, optimization tactic for SEO anyways, because those subheadings give prominence to your core keywords, to your to your important search queries. So make sure there are headings. If those headings are in question format, it's even better. Like you ask question, those questions work for page engagement because people like finding answers when they read questions. So anytime you can use those subheadings in a question format, like ask questions in your content and then give quick answer underneath and then elaborate more as you see fit. So that writing template is very useful for getting featured organically, and it's also a good overall SEO and usability tactic overall. So it's it's both. Now I do like giving definitions now. So anytime there is like a subheading, what is SEO? I start SEO is and give a quick definition, like 2 or 3 sentences. So always good. I like lists and tables, but that's again not just featured snippet only optimization tactic. This on-page SEO always includes breaking text with lists and tables, because they do help engagement. People scan those and don't leave the page. So anytime there is an opportunity to give a list of options, make it a bullet point list or even a table if there's like more metrics to list. So those pay attention to people also ask results and try to cover those whenever you can. Include them in your content. So all of those help on a higher level when you don't even know your featured snippet opportunities yet. Just using those best practices when creating on-page content is useful. Again, featured snippets are mostly about your copy. So it's how you write, how you structure your content, how you use those list subheadings and keywords to give Google an opportunity to feature you. So it's mostly on-page copywriting that plays a role here. Of course, you need to rank as well, but to get featured, you need those copywriting skills as well.
So our next question is from Joel Libova. I may not say that right. He's the franchise king. He says, if I put a competitor URL, should it be from a competitor that has a lower page rank than mine, so I can increase my chances of snippet success?
I'm not sure I can understand that.
That's a little complicated. Hang on, let me turn on, Joel, I'm going to turn on your ability to talk so that you can explain what it is you're asking. You should be able to.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I think I got it. I think I got
If I
it.
put it in the tool, if I put it in the tool that from Internet Ninjas, well, if I do it ahead of time, like I know this is a competitor, but this one has a lower, authority. So doesn't that increase my chances if I put in a competitor URL that I know I may be able to rank better for, rather than something that has a 70 or an 80 rank?
So you, of course, there are 2 things here. So first, you don't want to put Wikipedia, of course. So there is no point in that. Things like Wikipedia, CNN, you will never achieve that authority. I would look for new competitors. They may be higher, they may have high DA, whatever ranking metrics you're using, but they used a short period of time to generate that, because you still need competitors that are featured, right? There is no learning from someone who is not featured. So for this particular tool, at least. So you do need someone who gets featured snippets, and usually that means these people do rank. But try to find and keep an eye on those emerging competitors, not someone who has been in this industry. Like I would never try to compete with Moz, because they have been in this industry since I don't know when.
Yeah.
So newer sites like Backlink, whatever, I forgot the name of this site. Let me see, I just saw it. We all know him, Backlinko.
Yeah.
That's someone that has boosted their visibility when already there. So that's, for me, that's a newer competitor to look at. So I would not look at someone with very poor metrics, someone who is not ranking, someone who has no backlinks, because there's nothing to learn from.
Nothing. Okay.
But something who is new, absolutely. That's the metric I would use.
Thank you.
Okay, so Sean is back with the question. For the average beginner website owner, how do you recommend getting started with featured snippets without getting overwhelmed? Do you have like a step-by-step process for us besides put your URL in there, push the button, and there you go?
So there are again a few things here. Don't run that tool if you're not ranking yet. So you do need to be ranking to get featured. So until then, if you're a new website, you don't get featured until you have rankings in top 10 of Google. So don't waste your money. Start with your organic positions first. So that thought aside, just wanted to mention that because we do have people running the tool who have no rankings at all. So make sure you rank. Make sure you do generate organic traffic first. This is the most important thing. Now, when you're just starting, and that tool is actually perfect for people who just start, put your domain name, and the tool, they will not show you all the opportunities. I think we cap it like 20 URLs per run. I don't remember the limit, but we will find URLs and biggest chances to get featured. And that's your starting list. That's where you start from. So you get those 20 URLs. Let's say you have 10,000 pages on your website. We will still cap you with your biggest opportunities first. So URLs that have the biggest featured snippet opportunities and the most of them. So that's where I would definitely start. If you don't know anything, just put your domain and start from the top.
But I would add, if your site's been around a while, put your domain in there and run it, because you may have stuff in there that's ranking, but you don't know it yet. If you haven't been doing SEO or anything, the really easy way to find out if you have any pages that rank is to put your URL in there and hit.
There are a few free runs.
And it's free to run. So you can go run it and see if you're close to ranking for anything. Right?
Exactly.
All right, Martin, thank you. And Sean said, how helpful are featured snippets for non-text content, such as videos? Aren't there video snippets, or are there just videos?
There are video snippets as well, but usually that's YouTube that get featured, because you do need to have text. So if you want your video to get featured, it's doable. First of all, you do need, again, to rank that page with the video. So usually those are YouTube videos that gets featured because they rank well. So the first step, YouTube videos are not hard to get higher rankings, because frankly, Google loves YouTube. So all you need is to link to that video, let's say from your own website. Just give the plain text link to that video and give it some time. Of course, you do need your keywords that video is optimized for. And that's where SEO starts again. So you don't just use the video. When you upload a video to YouTube, you have a way to put title tag, like the name of the video, and you have like 1,000 characters for the description. So use both of those fields to put your well-optimized content. So the title of the video and the description. Now, Google now can index video text. So you don't have to have type text. Google can use the transcripts, create the transcripts of the video. But to get featured, you still need traditional text. So that's something that Google will be showing underneath your video. And I don't remember, can I?
So I have a question. When Google displays videos at the top of the search, are those videos pulled from YouTube, or can those videos be on your website on a page?
Frankly, I think I've never seen that from non-video platform. Like it could be Vimeo, it could be whatever, Dailymotion, and most often that's YouTube. I don't know if I ever saw a video featured snippet that's not a video platform. Now there are video carousels that another video section, not the featured snippet. There I see all kinds of websites regularly, but with the featured snippet, I may be wrong. Let me try to find some example. Oh, there used to be a video here. So in this section, videos, you can say, again, this is a bad example because here everything is YouTube. But you can find other URLs here, which I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, because I've seen that once a page gets into video carousel, it loses its organic position as well. And I don't know how many people click here. Not sure about that.
Yeah, that could be bad.
Yes. So like I say, SEO is becoming not as straightforward as it used to be. Previously, we would just capture any opportunity that is there. And now you always think like, I will keep my organic position. Thank you very much.
Okay. So are there any tips for why Google displays videos at the very top of the search for certain searches, but not for others? Is there any kind of pattern you know about?
Usually that should be the applied instruction. So this is something, I think How to Delete Facebook used to have a video featured snippet in it, not anymore. But usually that's implied instruction. So when Google figures out that a video would help to follow to answer that query. So in most cases, that's something how to do something. In that case, video would come up as a featured snippet, but I'm not seeing that anymore. So probably they are sticking to text featured snippet recently.
Okay, so Steve says, does adding schema markup to our content help to obtain featured snippets?
No, there is no structured markup that would help. That's not to say you do not need to use structured markup. Things like rich snippets are very clickable. I would say they are much more clickable than featured snippets. So by all means, do use structured markup. But for now, the only thing that helps with featured snippets for sure is using subheadings. So all those H2, H3 tags, because we have found that Google is using them to find the section that's most relevant to the search query and just give a quick answer that Google is able to extract and put in search results.
Okay. All right, so we've ended to the end of the questions people have typed in, but if anyone else has a question, you can put it in there real quick, or let us know if you want to come on audio or video and ask Ann a question while we have her here.
I found the featured snippet with the video. Do you see my screen?
Cool.
So this is what it looks like. And it's different from what I remember, because right now Google shows exactly where the answer is in the video itself. So they are using the transcript from that video now, which is cool.
All right.
So, see, this is, so basically to get your video featured, you need the first step for Google to rank it somewhere in top of search results. Maybe in carousel here as well, and to basically answer that question in your video, in the transcript of that video.
So when you say transcript, you're talking about having the whole transcript on the text.
Google will generate your transcript for you. You just need to talk about that in your video. So that should be someone instructing words in that video. Like in this case, Google shows exactly the part of the video when where this is discussed. So you should be talking about that in your video for that.
Okay, let me clarify. So you don't need to have a full text transcript in the description, and you don't even need to have the transcript, use a tool to put the transcript in the video. All you have to have is the audio, and if it's on the audio, Google can find it.
Then it should be a readable audio for Google to be able to create a transcript of that. So sometimes why I'm saying that, sometimes people would just have the music in the background with no words. There are lots of videos with instructions where people like don't do any voiceover. So there is no audio except for the music in the background. Many instructions are like that. For this particular purpose, you need voiceover. So you need to talk in the video about that solution you're discussing.
But you just have to have the words being said in the video. You don't have to use a tool to get a transcription. You don't have to put the transcript.
Yeah, I went to that video that was featured. And there is open transcript thing here. Can you see that? Can you see it? So there's the video. This is the 3 dots here.
Right.
And there's the open transcript option. When you click it, Google will open the transcript here. This is automatically generated transcript. So it's not manually put by the video creator here. This is automatic. And Google is using this transcript as text to rank this page.
And you're saying that every video on YouTube has that automatically. You don't have to do anything. You don't need the tools to create nothing.
Sometimes there is no text in the video, like no one is saying anything. Yeah. So you have to be saying anything for Google to generate that.
Right. Okay. All right. So Martin volunteered that there's a
auto-generated. Sorry.
Yeah, it's auto-generated, right? Martin said that there's a service he uses that finds keywords in an audio of podcasts or videos called All Ears. And the URL is en.allears.ai, in case anybody wants to do that on their own without, Google doing it.
It's cute. I will check it.
All right. So that's helpful. Monitor what's being said about your brand. It's a listening. It listens to audio on podcasts and videos. That's very interesting. Good to know. We need to know that. All right. So this has been great. I want to let everyone know that the replay of this video will be processed and end up in the blog post at blog.bizsugar.com. If you go to our blog in the top right, there's a tab that says BizSugar Live Webinars. If you click that tab, you can see all the past events and all the upcoming events. You can register for events right there. You can click through to get all of the video replays. We've done a lot of videos related to SEO if you're interested in that. And so you just, it's at blog.bizsugar.com. That's the main bizsugar.com site. And then the subdomain blog is where the link to all the.
Yep, I can see it now.
It's on the top right. It says BizSugar Live Webinars. That's a list of all the webinars, the upcoming ones to register, and all the past ones. And I think I'm going to reorganize that and put all the SEO ones together for convenience of our members and readers. But that's where they all are. I encourage you to check it out. We have a big event coming in November. A really big event, so please check it out. And please tell everyone how they can find you. I know you run VC Buzz Twitter chat. That's
yep, I'm almost always on Twitter, SEO Smarty. Let me open that. And that's the best way to keep in touch. I do have my own personal blog on SEO, seosmarty.com. But Twitter is just faster to get in touch if you need anything.
And Ann, besides being the brand manager at Internet Marketing Ninjas, she is also the founder of Viral Content Bee, which we use to get other influencers. Anyone can use it. You can share content there and other people will share your content for you to social media. You get a lot more visibility. You'll connect with some great people. So follow the people that share your content, talk to them, interact. That's how you become well known. That's how we know each other. Ann and I've known each other since probably 2009 on Twitter.
Long ago.
Yeah, long time. And so I'm glad everyone was here. You will see the replay in the blog post. It will also be emailed out to everyone that's registered. So I encourage you, share it with other people. If you have any questions, come to the mastermind community and ask me. And it's free to join the mastermind community. And we discuss all this kind of stuff all the time. It's free consulting and assistance to anyone that would like it. Thank you all for being here. Thank you so much, Ann, for showing us the tool today. And we will see you all. See you guys at the next event. Thanks, Ann.
Thank you.